So here we are, Venice. Who could ever get tired of this view?
It's so beautiful.
St. Mark's, the Doge's Palace. There's your name church, San Giorgio Maggiore. But for us, this is not the destination, it's the setting off point, because we're not interested in Venice this time around.
That's exactly. We are gonna go and see Veneto. You know, the Venetians sort of expand themselves towards the east for hundreds of years through the sea. Then suddenly, when they lost their power, what did? They turn inland. They turn inland, and here they are. You have a big city like Padua, Vicenza, all these cities that have grown up, fed by the wealth that was created by this town here.
And some of the greatest art and artists that we associate with the name Venice, you can find their masterpieces in places like Padua, Vicenza, and I imagine also the same is true with the food.
The food is incredible because, again, obviously the influence of the sea is really, really strong. But then the influence of the land will be incredible. We will taste some of the best cheeses that you ever come through. And what is amazing is these people are great workers. At the base of what they say is chi non lavora non fa l'amore. So it means that if you don't work hard, you don't even get sex.
Wow, that's a work ethic. So where are we going to start? I mean,
the first thing that I'm going to take you to see is this place called Chioggia.
Chioggia?
I'm going to take you to see some of the most exceptional fish that they do down there.
Let's go.
Chioggia, we are arriving. The Venetian lagoon extends for 212 square miles and contains 51 islands altogether. Chioggia lies at the southern entrance, about 60 miles south of Venice, and in the Middle Ages it was the second only to Venice. Fleets from here once controlled the lucrative salt trade right across the Adriatic Sea. Rome may be the capital, but Milan is the real power behind Italy. Over 2,000 years old, it occupies a key position along the ancient trade route between Rome and Northern Europe. Dynamic and industrious, it remains the most important commercial center in the country.
For me, there's only one place to start our exploration of the city, the grand Gothic cathedral. Dominating the old city centre, it's the heart and soul of Milan. All roads seem to start and end here. Construction started in 1386, and it's one of the earliest examples of the great Milanese gift for design and engineering.
Do you know, Giorgio, I think that's the first time I have ever seen the front of Milan Cathedral without huge amounts of scaffolding on it.
First time I see it so white.
Yeah.
Even in the picture of the panettone, the one you buy at Christmas, there's a picture of it, and it's much grayer than that.
It's wonderful, this cathedral front. Ruskin loved it. He talked about its frost crystalline beauty. He thought it was almost like a snowflake that has come down to earth. It's got that sort of structure of a snowflake. It's beautiful.
He's impressive. After sampling Marchese's gold, what better way than walk off the Regis with a passeggiata through Milan's finest galleria? Sophisticated and opulent, the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele is the oldest shopping mall in Italy. Strolling through this luxurious arcade, it's obvious why Milan is one of the fashion capitals of the world. Look how elegant they are. Even the traffic warden, look at them. Fantastic.
Those are the cops.
Those are the traffic warden, not the cops.
Only in Italy.
Out of Milan, you know. It's a bit of a temple of capitalism, really, as you can see around.
I think it's a cathedral of capitalism. I think what's amazingly daring about it is that the Duomo is literally there.
And the Scala is there.
And the Scala is there. So you've got the Temple of Arts there, the Temple of Religion there, and you've got the Temple of Money here.
Because, this is what it's all about.
But it is, and it's so grand. 1861, so it's just a few years after the Great Exhibition in London, the building of the Crystal Palace.
It doesn't look like that, doesn't it?
It's the same.
It's Victorian sort of building.
Yeah.
And it's a great statement from a city to, right in the middle of that, to really show their power and, the commercial. They are commercial animals, those guys.
I think it's the only place where you can really see and feel that sort of huge pride and self-confidence. Across Italy in the Industrial Revolution.
Yes.
You only really feel that here.
Yeah. There is one thing that I want to show you. And whenever you come to this place, there is this superstitious thing, and if you see any Milanese walking through, it will come along, and what it will do, it'll stand on the balls of the toro. It's called Schisciaghi Bal al Tor. And you go like that.
The balls of the bull.
You turn around, and that's it.
Always in Italy, there has to be a superstitious. Okay. Is that because you need balls if you're going to pay the prices for some of these clowns?
One of the things I love about the city is how open it is to new ideas and innovations. What I love most about Sicily is how diverse and rich in culture it is. Every whole town is like a three-course meal of history, beauty, and atmosphere. Just as delicious as the food, just as heady as the local wines. And the best place of all to begin the feast? The capital, Palermo. Colourful, theatrical. It's my favourite city anywhere in the world. A cultural layer cake baked over more than 1,000 years by Sicily's diverse colonisers. Every time I come here, I discover something new to marvel at. And this is perhaps my favourite slice of that historical cake. Earthquake. All of the major towns in the valley were rebuilt in the lavish Baroque style favoured by the island's colonial overlords, the Spanish.
They've been in control of Sicily since the end of the 13th century, but the island was just a small part of their empire, ruled by the viceroy and a collection of landowning barons. Under the Spanish, the number of those holding titles and territory expanded, creating more feudal estates that had to be paid for by the poor Sicilian.
This is Noto, the most spectacular of the Baroque towns built by the Spanish. It was created according to a meticulous town plan, designed to deliver the wow factor from the moment you arrive.
I can't work out if it's a town or a piece of theatre.
That's, you know, it
You
looks...
feel like you're in a stage set, don't you?
It does.
It's incredible. And it's unusual in Sicily, isn't it? Because usually the cities have built up over time, but here you've got a town that was all just made in one moment.
go.
So it preserves this Baroque idea.
Baroque towns like Noto reflected the Spanish rulers' belief in the importance of hierarchy. The rich lived in lavish splendour in the centre, with the poor languishing at the fringes.
I've been told the best view of the town is from San Carlo Church. Father Salvatore kindly agreed to let us in.
E ci sono quanti gradini?
Sono 80 gradini.
Whoa!
That's a lot of steps. Well, that's, I think, 38 steps, so we're halfway.
You count them?
Yeah, just personal training the medieval way.
Hey.
Wow. See what they mean about the view?
That's exactly.
You get the whole theatre from up here. And I think you realise how much it favours the rich people. The poorer people of Noto didn't actually like the design, because it's really a design for the rich. And I think the richer you were, the more you got a place up the hill. The whole town, the whole theatre of the town seems to be up the hill.
Yeah, rich people up at the top and the poor people at the bottom, drinking their piss.
Drinking. Is that an Italian expression?
Yes.
It's funny because when you come this way, you can see how compressed this city is. I mean, it stops just about where that pair of orange trousers is hanging up. I think
fire brigade.
Yeah, that's where the old city would have stopped. I mean, now there's suburban sprawl, but I think in the past, beyond that point, it really would have just been hovels, shacks, almost like a shanty town. Absolute radical contrast between the rich and the poor.
It's almost designed to remind you which place you have in society every single day from the moment you get out.
It's ironic that the sublime beauty of Sicily's Baroque towns could have been created by such an oppressively unfair regime. The privilege and ambition of the noble classes who lived in Noto created extravagant sculptural confections, like the facade of this palazzo, the finest in the town.
This is the most famous palace, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what...
In Noto, they say, Palazzo Villa Dorato.
Villa Dorata, which is the residence of the Nicolacci.